Welcome to the This Mum Loves Tech podcast, the go-to show for female business owners who want to simplify tech and get the support they need to grow their online businesses with confidence. I'm Nicola Walsh, your podcast host. I'm also a mum to two cheeky boys and I love tech, so you don't have to. I'm here to share actionable tips, tools and strategies that will help you streamline your business and make the tech work for you. So whether you're watching after the kids have gone to bed or listening while on the school run, let's dive into today's episode and make tech that little bit easier. Hi everyone and welcome to another edition of This Mum Loves Tech. I'm super excited today that I have a guest with me, Lucia Craddock from High Vibe Vision. She's just done a brilliant workshop inside the This Mum Loves Tech membership. I just had to get her on the podcast to share more with you all about visioning. So Lucia, hello, welcome to the This Mum Loves Tech podcast.
Hello, it's so lovely to be here. And yeah, just absolutely loved the session, the training session we did, the masterclass today as well. So buzzing from that now.
Excellent. Yes, there were so many brilliant things. But before we get too excited and too into that, I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about you and about how High Vibe Vision came together and why visioning for business owners you feel is so important.
Yeah, so it's been a long journey. It started in literally 20 years ago, actually. So I was, people say you fall into things. I fell into TV presenting. It wasn't something I went out to do. I fell into TV presenting and I worked for a TV show for 5 years called Psychic TV. And that really opened up my eyes to another world that I hadn't really been introduced to before. So I learned about energy, manifesting, spirituality, so many things, crystals, earth energies. It was like, I was just like a little sponge. I was like, oh my God, but everything made sense. So I feel that's where my journey really, really started. And I've been on a journey with it since then. But I started intentionally manifesting. I'd always been doing it without really knowing that I was doing it. And I know now because of the mindset work that I've done as well went with that, and the belief work that I've done over the years. But when I intentionally manifested my husband in 2015, so it's our 10-year anniversary this year. So when I intentionally manifested my husband using the methods that I now teach, I was like, and it happened within 5 weeks. And I didn't actually want it to happen then. I was like, I need to be on my own for a while. And all the things they say to do, like, make sure you're all ready for it. And I was like the opposite. I was like, I'm going to have a single bed. I don't want a relationship now. I need to be single for a while. And it happened within 5 weeks. And it's not about the thing that you want. It's about the feeling behind it. So it wasn't like, I want a 6-foot tall man with this and, they must have these things. It was more about how I wanted them to make me feel and how I wanted the relationship to feel. And that's exactly what I brought in. So that was my first kind of like, okay. And then lots of people kept asking me, well, how did you do that? How did you do that? So I was sharing with people anyway. And at the time I was living in Ibiza at the time. And I used to run events out there and I'd run retreats and spiritual retreats and facilitated retreats. So I was on the journey helping people with their own spiritual journey. And then the end of 2023, they're kind of fast forwarding quite a lot here because I can tell you my whole life story. At the end of 2023, I actually had 4 businesses at the time. I was working with nutrition. I was a nutritional therapist. I was aligned with a brand. So I was introducing people and helping them with their healthy living journey. And that took me on a huge personal development journey. And I loved coaching people. I was doing a lot of coaching work for 6 years with that, business coaching and nutrition coaching. And then I had another business with my sister. My sister's also on the spiritual journey too. So we had another company where we did moon ceremonies and retreats with women, helping them to step into their power and work with energy, with manifesting. And yeah, I had a couple of other businesses as well. I was so busy, it was crazy. But what I felt like I was doing was I was doing everything at 25% rather than focusing on one thing. And I have ADHD, and anyone who's got ADHD knows, I think people with ADHD tend to be entrepreneurs because our minds are always thinking about the next thing. We'll go, 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 go. That's why I worked well with TV presenting, because I can focus on 5 things at the same time. It's a wild brain that we have, and you can work with it to be your superpower. But what I was doing is I was spreading my energy too thin. And the end of 2023, I was hosting a retreat and I did the work myself. Normally I would just facilitate and hold the space, but me and my sister were doing it together. So I said, I feel like we need to do, something's telling me we need to do this work. And it was over the 11/11. 11/11 is a very significant time, all about alignment and getting very clear on your purpose and your passion. And the work we were doing was about calling in, what is our calling? What is our purpose? Why am I here? And I got the clearest message that my purpose was to unlock women's potential and their power. And I was shown, so in my mind's eye, I was doing this in a meditation, me with these keys going around and unlocking women. And these women that I was going to work with were creating a ripple effect. They were all helping people in whatever they did, but I was the one who was just unlocking them to what their calling is, what their purpose is, what their power is, helping them to achieve what they wanted. And it was just this knowing that washed over me. And in that moment, it was like everything else that I was doing wasn't in alignment, especially the nutrition work. I thought that was my purpose, and it all just melted away. And I was like, okay, I said, I surrender. This is what I'm meant to do. I have no idea how to do that, like what this is going to look like as a business, but I'm here. I'm here to serve. This is a huge calling and a huge purpose, and I'm here for it. So show me what to do. So about 3 weeks later, I got shown the vision and the vision days that I do, the vision day retreat. And it all came to me very quickly, and I saw it and I was like, oh my God, all the content, how it could help people. And I've always been very much about vision anyway, but this is where it really started for me. And I was shown, again, I work spiritually. So when we're meditating, whether we're connecting in with our intuition, our higher self, our guides, the universe, whatever you want to call it, and we get these inspired ideas. So I put the vision day together very quickly. It felt amazing. It felt aligned. I was like, oh, I felt so excited. Like when we do something in alignment, like our body, we feel excited. We have this energy in us. We're like, oh my God, yes. So I knew it was the right path. And I put this event on in the January. So that was January 2024, just over a year ago. And it sold out really quickly. Everyone was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I really need this. And I was like, brilliant. And then a lot of people were like, well, we didn't get a chance to do it. Can you do another one? So I put another one on in Feb. That was really popular. Again, another people were like, we want to do it. We want to do it. And so the vision days were born. I thought it would just be something in January, but I actually ran them all through the year. Even in October, I was running vision days. And I feel the way that I've done it, we do create a vision board on the day. I think so many people have heard about vision boarding. I say vision boarding because it's like, oh yeah, find some nice pictures, what you want, stick them on a board, put it on your wall, and everything's going to happen. And I knew from manifesting in the past that it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's part of the process, but there's so much more. You need to connect with your vision on a deeper level to really activate the power within it. And that's the work that I was called to do when I got all this information about how to work with women in this. And then what started to happen was the results. People were like, oh my God, after the vision day, I can't believe what's just happened. This has happened, that's happened. Like things that they've wanted for years and they've done vision boarding before were all happening really quickly for people. So I was like, okay, I know the method, that I know it's worked for myself, but the methods I'm now teaching are working. And I get calls every day from my past clients, whether that's the one-to-one work that I've done, the retreats, just speaking at events, saying, oh my God, this has happened and that's happened and everything on the vision board. So yeah, the passion grew and grew, and then the concept started to grow as well. Like I kept getting shown that I was here to help and serve a lot of women, a huge amount. So I was like, okay, if I'm just doing the vision days, they're very intimate. There's only 10 people at a time. So I was like, okay, I need to get out to a wider audience. So then I was being guided to put on a bigger event. So I host a bigger event once a year called High Vibe Fest, and that serves about 80 women. And just to get the message out there, everything's been very guided, and I trust and surrender. When I get an idea, I take action, which is what I teach as well. And yeah, it's exciting. So that's how it came about, and the name came about because High Vibe is, when we're manifesting, it's about your vibration that you're in. The higher the vibration, then the bigger the manifestations start to come into your world. And it's about managing our energy, and not just for what we're manifesting, but about living a life. I always say it's not always the destination, it's the journey, how we're getting there. And so many people will focus on, when I get to this place, I'll be happy. When I earn this amount of money, or when this happens, then I'll be happy. But it's about creating that happiness and that joy and the high vibrational feels, joy, love, abundance, gratitude, like bringing those now, not waiting for something to happen, but how can we cultivate those feelings genuinely, not pretending like everything is great. How can we actually feel those emotions genuinely in a deeper level in the present? And that is the creating your high vibrational life. And then the vision, obviously, your vision is your compass. We'll always get somewhere, but if we don't know where we're going and we're not intentional and specific about it, then the chances of that happening, are slimmed down quite a lot. When we're very clear, we've got the vision, we know what we want, we know where we're going, we know the intention and the feeling behind that, things can happen really quickly. And we only are ever limited by our own imagination and the possibilities and the beliefs that we put on ourselves. So working within your vision to break down those barriers, break down those beliefs that are outdated and not serving us, raise your standards through your vision, then anything is possible. It really is.
Oh, that's amazing. And I think what that has highlighted is, because when I hear vision boards and when I've like maybe looked at vision boards in the past, it has been that kind of pretty collage of pictures of things I'd like to happen, like go on this holiday and I'd like to have this thing. But until you put those actions into place to actually make that vision happen, it is just a thought. It's not really a vision, it's just a thought. And
Yeah.
I think we need to take those action steps. One of the things I'd really like to kind of delve a bit more deeper is, why is it that when you think of a vision board, obviously there is that element of having a picture there, a visual representation, but why is it that we need more, and what is it about taking the actions that can really help us bring that vision to life?
Yeah, and again, like you said, a vision, we might all have a dream or a wish, and it's just a wish. It's just out there. One day I would love to do this, but the reason with vision crafting, there's three ways that it works really powerfully. One is the actual process of the creation of the vision, getting people really clear on what they want, and then you can start to create it. Another one, it actually works visualization and works more on the neuroscience point of view. So if our brain starts to see it, it can start to create the reality. Our brain doesn't differentiate between what's real and what's not real. If it sees it, then it perceives that as being real. So it's the process of creation with the visualization as well. And when you see having an actual vision board there and seeing it, then it inspires you to take action. It's there, it's at the forefront. And then you have to take the aligned action. And this is key. And this is why I think a lot of kind of people poo-poo vision boards and manifestation works. It's like, oh yeah, we're going to sit back and think happy thoughts and stick some pictures on a board and it's all going to happen. But ultimately, we're co-creating. The vision is creating that. It's like planting that seed. But then if you just plant a seed and leave it there, it's not going to grow into a fruitful tree. You need to nurture it. So the action is you to watering that vision and taking action. And going, okay, well, how would that actually happen then? How could I do that? And then rather than it being like one day, it's like, well, what day could that be? So for instance, we were speaking before on the masterclass about you go taking your kids to Disneyland, and it's one of the holidays is something that comes up so much, and traveling, and for me, life is about experiences. And that's why travel is just such a beautiful thing, the memories and the experiences you're creating. And a lot of the time, if we are business owners, why are we putting our soul and energy and love into our businesses? Because we want to create experiences ultimately with our family and in life. So rather than going, oh yeah, one day I would love to go to Disneyland, it's like, okay, well, that's there, that's the vision. How do we make that happen? How much does it actually cost? So many times I'll be like, well, do you know how much? No, I don't know how much it is. You might be able to go now. You don't know. So it will start to get your brain thinking and looking for opportunities and start to go, well, how can I make that happen? What money do I need? Okay, well, it's going to cost me £5,000. Okay, so what do I need to do differently? Or what more do I need to do to create an extra £5,000 into my business? Or how can I save? And what starts to happen is when we start to have that growth mindset and we're looking for opportunities start to come in. Again, we're attracting what we want. So you might get a new idea that's like, actually, if you just did this. So having a vision helps you grow all areas of your life as well, because you're not just settling for where you are, you're expanding, you're creating space to bring more into your life. So suddenly you'll get ideas. You're like, okay, well, I need an extra £5,000. Oh, what about this idea? Why didn't I do this? Oh, I could do this. And you start to pull those experiences in, and it starts to become your reality then. But yeah, the action is the key that not enough people talk about with manifestation.
Yeah, because like you said, it's all very well having that vision, but until you do that research, I think that was one of the things you said, is like you need to then research that vision. Like, what are the practicalities? Another one of the ladies in the workshop said she wanted a new office. So it's like, right, well, how much is the new office going to cost? Well, how are you going to decorate the office? Like, what do you want that office to actually look like? Rather than just saying, I want that new office or I want that new holiday, it's looking further into it, isn't it? And thinking, okay, well, this is the practicalities of how I then need to make that vision happen. Like you said, with the Disney holiday, one of the first things I did was like find out how much it was going to cost, like you said, because it's like, it's all very well saying I want to go there and I want to do it for my 40th birthday next year. So it's like, right, well, I've got a deadline now. It's going to be that day. And I think I also changed my, one of the things you talked about in the workshop as well was changing your wording of it. And I very quickly realized that it had a much more significant impact to me to say we are going to Disney for my 40th birthday than I would like to go to Disney for my 40th birthday. Because I feel like by saying we are going, I'm now like, right, well, if we're going, how are we going? What do I need to do to, whereas if I'd like, oh, I'd like to go, you don't have that drive behind it as much, because like, oh yeah, that would be nice if that happens. But I'm like, no, we are going. This is happening. Like, we know when we're going, we know what dates we're going, we know how much it costs now. Like, right, okay, so now I can now plan the steps that's going to take me to get to that vision. And it's so much more powerful than just having that picture of them going, oh yeah, I'd like to do that one day.
Yeah, it is. And it is. It's taking that action, getting clear on what you want, taking the action, and the intention behind it. Your language, I would say your tongue is a wand. The words that you speak are creating your reality. The thoughts that you have, the words in your head that you're speaking to yourself or speaking around what it is that you want, they are creating your reality. So if you're there going, and I always say the swear words, I'm like, so many of my clients will be like, oh, I nearly said the word. I nearly said the T word. So T is trying. I'll try to do that. I'm like, no, you won't. Trying is setting the intention to fail. I am going to do that. I'm going to do my best to do that. That is you. All you can do is your best. So you're committing to doing your best. If you try, you're kind of giving yourself a way out, like, yeah, I'm kind of trying. Might happen, might not. Or hopefully it will happen. So you're already setting the intention, but it's not going to happen.
Mm.
So it's like the language that you use, and the more mindful you can be around the language that you use. And again, the more awareness is key, because you can't just switch it off right away. But the more you catch yourself saying it, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I still say the T word every now and again. I'm like, what am I doing this year? To speak to myself in the third party. But the more you can become intentional and have self-awareness. So we're not just going through life on autopilot then, because the process of manifestation is creation, and that's always in action. The law of attraction is always in action. It's like gravity is always in action. And the law of vibration that we're working with is always in action. It's whether you're unconsciously working with it or consciously working with it. And to consciously work with it, you have to have self-awareness. And again, it comes back to the vision. If you've got the vision, you know where you're going and you have awareness about where you're going, rather than just going, oh yeah, it'd be nice to get, maybe I want to make a 10 grand month, and just having that kind of, oh, that would be nice. You've got that clear vision, and then you trust you've got your process. You work backwards from that. Okay, well, how am I going to do that? And it might happen in different ways, but all we can do is control our thoughts, our feelings, and the actions that we take. And normally it's your thoughts and your feelings that will determine the actions that you do take. Because if you don't believe you could do that, you won't take the action.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what we can control within this process. And the more you're just taking action, just take one step in front of the other, and you'll start to create momentum.
Yeah. And I think that kind of leads really nicely into the question of what happens when we come across people that don't believe in our vision. Because it's all very well us having all these kind of visions and things that we want to do, but we also do need the support of others sometimes to make that happen, and they might not agree with the vision that we've kind of set out. So how would you say is the best way to kind of deal with that, or to kind of work around that if that becomes a situation of the people in your life maybe don't align with your vision?
Yeah, and this is a big one. It really is. And it's the acronym I shared today about vibration. Our relationships is so important, because we become the 5 people you spend the most time with. They would say if you spend your time, if you spend your time with 4 millionaires, you're probably more likely to be the 5th millionaire. But it's the people you surround yourself with. Again, it's about intention. You can just be like, these are my mates, I'll just put up with it, that because that's what you are. But when you start to get intentional and start to ask, well, what are their beliefs? Are these relationships serving me? Do they make me feel good? Are they people who are rising me up? You know, and some people, you're not just going to cut everybody out of our lives, but you've all got that person who's a little bit negative, or I call them the dream stealers, because your vision, they can't see your vision, it's your vision. So protect your vision and protect your peace. You don't need to tell everybody your vision. Tell your vision to the people who you know are going to be like, oh my God, this is epic. Yes, 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 you've got this. What can I do to support you? You know, they'll be cheering you on. They'll be like, oh my God, yes, you go. Someone might look at you like you're a little bit crazy, but that's okay. When we're authentic and we're in our own power and we're unapologetically showing up as ourselves, not everyone's going to love you. Not everyone's going to love what you do. And that's okay. Because the right people who are aligned with your vibration and your vision and what you're creating, they'll be coming into your life, or they're the ones who you'll know. And it's quite good when you tell someone a big vision or a goal, you can start to see the character of people a little bit more, because some people just have, and there's nothing wrong with anybody, they just have a different mindset, more of a closed mindset. So be intentional about who you're spending your time with and who you're sharing your vision with as well. And yeah, just again, it comes back to the awareness and the attention, and create it. So if you don't have a circle around you who you can share your vision with, where can you meet them? You know, and again, this is why I love working with female entrepreneurs, because they do have this growth mindset. And they, you know, I think the world of business is changing a lot. This whole kind of the old paradigm of competition, you know, if you do the same thing, we're all in competition. You know, if they succeed, I don't succeed. But I think things are really shifting. I've seen this over the years, being in business 20 years myself now. Now it's about collaboration. Women support women. We rise together. And now it's like cheering each other on. And we see if they have success, it doesn't take away from my success. It just means it's possible. So look at the people who for inspiration, who are already doing the things that you want to do. And jealousy and comparison are one of the big things. I didn't mention this today, actually, but they can really take you out of the game. When you see other people doing what you want to do and they're further ahead, you're like, oh my God, well, they're doing this. Why am I doing that? I should be doing this. I should be doing that. What you want to do is switch that and use that as a compass. If you get those little pangs of jealousy or comparison, there's something that they're doing that you want, and see it and go switch it. It's all about pivoting your mind. If they can do it, so can I.
Yeah.
And see it like that, and ask them, go, oh my God, you're doing amazing. What are you doing? Like, I would love to be where you are, and reach out to those people. You know, and again, if you don't have that support network around you, communities like the one that you've got, Nicola, you know, communities of businesswomen coming together, or, you know, it might be a podcast. You know, the 5 people you spend the most time with, it could be someone who you look up to. You don't actually know that person, but you're listening to them all the time. You're listening to the words that they're saying. So it doesn't necessarily be the physical relationships, but just be really mindful. Like we're taught about, you know, what you put in your food is affecting your body, but what we're putting into our mind is also affecting us as well. Like if we're watching things like a lower vibration, if you're watching the news and fear, and people are blaming and complaining and gossiping, like those are low vibrational energies. You want to be around communities of people who are talking about their goals and their visions and inspiration, and, you know, gratitude and the things that are working, and there's a different conversation you have with those kind of people. So yeah, find your high vibe vision tribe.
Yeah, I love that. And obviously that is what we're striving to do at This Mum Loves Tech. Within the membership, we've got a lovely community there, and we meet regularly for things like the masterclass that you delivered today, for the Q&A calls, because obviously there are things that can hold us back from reaching our vision, and sometimes that can be tech. We know we want to get to this place in our business, but we don't have the skills or the knowledge to get us to that place, and that's where we need to then seek outside help to help us on this journey to get to our vision. And obviously if it is anything to do with tech, that's why I've set up This Mum Loves Tech, to have a space where it's a safe space where you can come and ask your questions, because there is no such thing as a stupid question. There will always be somebody else that is appreciative of you asking that, because they maybe were too afraid to ask it. And that's why coming onto group calls is so different to having the one-to-one, because you may then go away and think, oh, I wish I'd have asked that if you was on a one-to-one call. Whereas if you're in a group environment, you learn from others as well, and you can then see what journey they're on. And like you said, instead of making that comparison in a negative way, you can make a comparison and be like, oh, I really like what they've done, actually. That's given me an idea of now I could, you know, do this in my business, and seeing it as that way of like helping each other to get to obviously to that ultimate vision that we have of our life and our business and how we want things to work. Because most of us went into business with a vision, and it may have changed from what we originally started with, but you don't normally go into business just because. There's normally a reason, there's normally a something that's driving you to go into business, because it is hard and you do need to put a lot into it. And there may be other easier options out there to do, but you have this vision of how you want your life to be, and part of that is being a business owner.
Totally, and it will change and it will grow. Your vision is always good to check right in. I know when I started High Vibe Vision, it was just about doing the vision days with women, and over the last year, and especially towards the end of the last year, and it happened very naturally and organically. I was working with business owners, and I've got 20 years experience in business as well, and it was just working. I was like, this is my calling, to work with business owners, and like that initial vision that I got shown me unlocking them, the impact that they were making in their businesses, if I could help them make a bigger impact, they would reach more people with the work that they were doing as well. So yeah, visions change, and it's recognizing that and evolving with that and going with that. And like we said, if relationships aren't serving you as well, if you don't have that support of the people around you, that can change as well. The more you believe in yourself and you're creating your vision, then that will help other people's belief as well, and you can support them on their journey too.
That's brilliant. So I think we could obviously talk forever, I feel, here. So yeah, we could keep chatting about visioning, because there's like so many different angles to it. And obviously in the workshop that you delivered, you gave us a brilliant kind of breakdown of your, you used the acronym vibration, and you had kind of different words to all of that. So if you are interested in finding out more about how to create your vision and how to action it, then I would highly recommend watching the replay of Lucia's workshop that she did for us in the This Mum Loves Tech membership. If you are interested in joining, the link for the membership will be in the show notes, and I'm also going to put all of the details of how you can get in touch with Lucia. But can you give us a quick, where's the best place to find you, and kind of the best kind of way of working with you further?
So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. I'm always on my stories. I'm always chatting around my stories. And I have a wonderful group over on Facebook as well called the High Vibers Hub, which started after the festival that I run last year. It was meant to just be as a catch up for all the people who came to the festival to stay together. And it was such a beautiful group and community. It's just grown, and now everybody's invited to be on there, all about raising your vibration, learning about manifestation. I do a lot of free coaching on there as well. Getting you in tune with your intuition on Thursdays. I do tune in Thursdays, so I do free card readings in there. And yeah, I've got a lot more plans for that group as well to grow. So that's the High Vibers Hub over on Facebook. Send me a friend request as well on Facebook or on Instagram. Lucia Craddock.empowerment. And the business page is highvibe.vision. But yeah, I love working with people. Again, last year I was really called to do more group work. And I did a little bit of one-to-one, and then I was like, no, I need to do group work. And then after the group work, it was like, no, I'm being called to do one-to-one now. So I'm always flowing, but I absolutely love, especially with business owners, I love working one-to-one because I can really see the potential within people's businesses and the potential within themselves. And then we help create a vision, and then we take them from vision to victory. So I actually give them processes and strategies that are going to help them move through that. I work very practically as well, but also spiritually. So the two like energetics come in with mindset and business strategy as well. So yeah, that's great. If any of this is resonating, I always say do what feels aligned. If you're like, oh, I need something's telling me. A lot of my clients are like, I just felt this nudge. They call me like, I just felt like I needed to work with you. And I'm like, brilliant. Like that's what I'm attracting. I'm intentionally attracting to work with business owners who get those nudges, or who are ready to level up their lives and their businesses. And it's been incredible. Like I'm so privileged and honored, the women that I'm working with and the businesses they're creating. It blows my mind. It really, really does. So yeah, if any of that's resonating, feel free to reach out. And it'd be wonderful to hear from you and support you in any way that I can.
Oh, that's brilliant. Yeah. And all those links that Lucia was talking about will be in the show notes. So you can come and check out the Facebook group. Sounds brilliant. And things like that. Well, I just want to say a huge thank you for coming onto the podcast today. It's been lovely to have you here, and for doing the masterclass in the membership as well. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please do let me know in the comments. And I hope to see you again for another episode of This Mum Loves Tech.
Thank you so much. Bye.